Shalom, my brothers and Shalom, my brothers and sisters who are in the body of Yahuwshua HaMashiyach, and Shalom, Shalom to the Hebrew Israelites who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Now, this is part 2, dealing with the 6th new moon report, and the title of this video is Israelites and Gentiles. Israel did not see the 6th new moon, part 2. Another sign of the times. Yes, my brothers and sisters. Also in this month, there's another sign to let us know in the heavens. There's another sign that the heaven is displaying unto us that the true Hebrew Israelite has not returned back to the Holy Land. But as I promised to you, I want to show you a better photo of the new moon that was sighted in California, which is located in America. So now let us go to there first. Bring this down just a little bit. So you will have access to this photo. You will click on the Google Documents, and that link can be found in the video description box. But as you see where the red arrow is pointing, this is where we saw the crescent on August the 22nd, Tuesday at sundown. And the year is 2017 AD. Now for the announcements. These announcements shall be listed in the video description box. Okay. But the most important announcement I definitely want you to check out is Yahuwah prophetic message. For it relates to the events that has been occurring throughout Yahuwah's calendar year, such as the solar eclipse, and also such as the moon not showing at her appointed time in Israel, and dealing with this new sign too as well. So please check out Yahuwah prophetic message, and that link will be in the video description box. Also, what you see here, let's say Abid, and when my tongue getting twisted. Where it say Abid and Elul, which is the 6th month. This is the Google link I'm talking about. You do not have to write down everything. You have access to Yahuwah's calendar. I just want you to focus and listen. Okay. Also, the last announcement is, please remember Brother Alayasha and his family, for they are truly bearing their spiritual cross in these last days. Please keep their story alive. Please pray for them. And also remember their children. Okay. So, and their testimony will also be listed in the video description box. So now let us begin dealing with, go back to my title so I want to make sure I said it correctly. Dealing with Israel did not see the 6th new moon, part 2, another sign of the times. Okay, so now I'm going to take you to the calendar. Now the date of this video is August the 24th, 2017 AD. Which fall on Thursday night of the heathen's calendar, also known as Satan calendar, and also known as the Gregorian calendar, which fulfilled the prophecy of what Daniel 7 is talking about. Now I have to make a correction. Let's see here. Today is the 6th month, but it's the 3rd day now. Okay, sorry for that mistake. And today's date is, again, August the 24th. And because it's after sundown, the day will go from August the 24th to August the 25th, from sundown to sundown. So we are on the 3rd day of the moon. Okay. Now let me take you to the calendar. Now there's some things I do want to clear up about the 5th month that I promised from the prior video when we was doing the 5th new moon report, because I had to make sure the number I was getting with the 5th new moon report was correct. I also made some updates to the calendar, starting with the month of Abid all the way up to the 6th month of the Hebrew calendar. So please go to Google document link to get those updates. And please forgive me for those calculation errors. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the 5th month. And bear with my cell phone, because you know how it is. We're trying to pull stuff up. It takes a while. So when the sun entered the 5th sign of Mazzaroth, we got a total for that month, a total of 32 days, and that is correct. And we'll talk more about that further in this video, okay? So this is what you'll see. Now, if you can't see this screen too well, what I highly suggest is that go to the video description box, click on the Google document to have access to the calendar, and play this video while I'm going over the calendar now, okay? So now I'm going to the bottom of the 5th month. Just bear with me. It takes a while. I have to have patience with it. So to close this month out of the 5th month, let me see, can I go over this a little bit? We have a total of 29 days. However, because Israel did not see the new moon on the correct day, they should have 30 days, okay? Also, dealing with the sun entering the 5th sign of Mazzaroth, you will find out, because I went and when I pulled up my pocket calendar and I counted just to make sure. So it is correct. For the 5th month of the sun, it should have 32 days. However, in America, in the 5th month of the sun, we should have 31 days total. Okay. And I put the date range listed here so you can see what days that fall on the Gregorian calendar. And the reason why the 5th month of the sun for Israel has 32 days is because of the timing that the sun entered. And that timing was, let me look at my notes, and you might have a little kitty cat. You will hear, let's see here. And the timing that the sun entered the 5th month was, hold on, let me get this cat out of the way. Okay. Let's see here. The timing that the sun entered the 5th month was, looking at my notes, was on July the 22nd at 6:15 p.m. And that was on Israel Daylight Saving Times. Okay. And because it entered before sundown, it made it fall on the 21st to the 22nd. Make sure I look at this right. Oh my goodness. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm sorry. When the sun entered the 6th sign of Mazzaroth, which was on August the 23rd at 1:20 a.m., this represents the last day of the sun's 5th month. And because it was at 1:20 a.m., which occurred after sundown, it caused that day to fall on from the 23rd to the 24th of August. So this is why we have a total of 32 days for the sun's 5th month in Israel. And I do apologize for that. Sorry. So I'm going to repeat myself again. For America with the sun, S-U-N, it has a total of 31 days. But in Israel, for the sun, it has a total of 32 days because of the timing that it fell into. Okay, now let's look at the 6th month. Sorry about that. Just bear with me. Now we are in the 6th month. And this month in Hebrew is known as Elul. And forgive my tongue if I've mispronounced that. Okay. And it falls in between August to September. Okay. And in this month, the sun entered the sixth sign of Mazzaroth, and it has a total of 31 days. Okay, and the sixth sign of Mazzaroth fell on the first day of the moon. So let's take a look at that now. But pause your screen. Pause your screen to get that part that you see now. I also forgot to mention in Elul, to see what events fall in the 6th month, also read Nehemiah chapter 6, verse 15. And we'll talk more about that further in this video. Okay. I also forgot to mention that for America, for the 6th month of the sun, it should have 31 days. And for Israel, for the 6th month of the sun, it should have also 31 days. And you'll see why as we go further in this video. Now let's look at day 1. Okay. As you see here, highlighted in blue, in the west, in California, we saw the new moon on August the 22nd on Tuesday at sundown. And the moon on that day was waxing 2.5%. Also on this day in Israel, the sun entered the 6th sign of Mazzaroth. And as you can see here on the screen, it has a total of 32 days. For on this day, it represents the last day of the 5th month. Okay. So when we go to the next line, the first day of the sun in the 6th month falls on day 2 of the moon. This is also the day when Israel shall see the moon. Now, I'm going to list for you in the video description box part 1, because part 1 has all the witness report on when the moon was seen across the world. Now, you're probably asking, why is this happening? If you have read 1st and 2nd Enoch, and if you have listened to Yahuwah prophetic message, you will learn that the heavens is crying out to us, letting us know that the true Hebrew Israelite has not returned home. This is why Israel is not seeing the new moon before America. It is a sign unto you, Hebrew Israelites, to let you know the Most High has not forgotten you. He will keep his promise, as written in Jeremiah, I believe it's chapter 16 or chapter 14, when he said that the world will no longer know me as the one who delivered you from Egypt, but will know me as the one who delivered you from the north and from the other lands. So that prophecy, we are waiting for that to be fulfilled. For we know the true Hebrew Israelites are still scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. They are still under the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. This is how you can identify them. And today, the heathens call them Negroes, blacks, niggers, and many other bywords. Okay? And that is very evident today. So that is to give you some understanding why Israel is not seeing the new moon. Okay? So in the first week of the moon, the half moon will appear on the 7th day of the moon. And on this day, the sun month is the 6th month and the 6th day. And it falls on the Gregorian calendar on August the 28th at sundown to August the 29th at sundown. Now let's look at the second week of the moon. Now, on the second week of the moon, we have the full moon to fall on the 15th day. Okay. And on that day is the sun's 6th month and 14th day. And on the Gregorian calendar, it would be September the 5th at sundown to September the 6th at sundown. Now let us look at the 6th week of the moon. I'm sorry. Let us look at the 3rd week of the moon. Forgive my tone. So on the 3rd week of the moon, on the 22nd day of the moon, it shall be 50% decreasing in light, known as waning. On this day, the sun is in the 6th month and 21st day. And on the Gregorian calendar, which is known as the Satan's calendar, it is September the 12th to September the 13th from sundown to sundown. Now for Nehemiah chapter 6, verse 15, which falls on the 4th week of the moon. Okay. And we shall read that verse. Okay. But also on this calendar, I list for you other scriptures to read to see what other events fell in the 6th month. And those scriptures are 1 Corinthians chapter 27, verse 9, Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 1, and Haggai chapter 1, verse 1 and verse 15. But do take the time to read those chapters to get the full context of those verses. So Nehemiah chapter 6 verse 15 falls on the 25th day of the moon. On that day is the sun's 6th month and 24th day. And on the Gregorian calendar is September the 15th to September the 16th from sundown to sundown. Now the last waning crescent of the moon, that's the moon decreasing in light, and that light usually on the left hand side for the northern hemisphere. Okay, so that is decreasing in light. The last waning crescent shall occur on the 28th day of the moon, and that can usually be seen in the dawn phase. That can usually be seen up in the dawn phase in the morning, all the way up to noon, depending on what time zone you are in. Okay, please check out timeanddate.com to see where you can see the last waning crescent in your area. Now, it occurs on the 28th day of the moon. On that day is the sun's 6th month and 27th day, and falls on the Gregorian calendar, which is September the 18th to September the 19th. And this brings me into mind, because we're in the 6th month, I'm aware that some people did not follow the 13th month. They don't follow it. So for them, this month would be the 7th month. But the problem is that their 7th month is way before the fall equinox. So they would be out of season dealing with the solemn feast, which we know as the Feast of Tabernacles. And we'll talk more about that in the 7th month. But I just want to let you know, FYI, the heavens do provide a 13th moon. And if you study 1st and 2nd Enoch, you will see that and understand that for those who are keeping a record of the Most High calendar and going out and observing the heavens. So those who are only keeping 12 months for the moon, this month for them is that 7th month. However, they are out of season. They are out of order, because the fall equinox won't fall in this month. It will not. Okay, you'll see why in the next new moon report. Now, on the 29th day of the moon is the dark moon, okay? And that falls on the Gregorian calendar, which is September 19th to September 20th from sundown to sundown. And that is the sun's 6th day and 28th day of the moon. Okay? And what I'm going to do in the next video, I want to make that separate for you to give you the total times. So when the sun entered the 5th sign of Mazzaroth, for Israel, for the mid-year, I'm going to bring the screen down so you can see it. For the mid-year now, for Israel, it gave us a total of 187 days for the sun. Okay. Now, for the sun quarter for Israel, for this month of the 6th month of the sun, we will have a total of 94 days. But for America, we have a total of 93 days. Okay. So we're going to keep a record of Israel and America to compare and see how this stuff works out. So for right now, Israel has an extra day in their sun year. Now, going back to the mid-year, the total days for Israel again is 187 days. And the actual timing of that is 186 days, 12 hours, and 58 minutes. For America, it is 186 days. Now, when the sun enters the 6th sign of Mazzaroth, what that basically means is that on that day, daylight is 12 hours and 40 minutes. And Enoch says that is 10 parts. And night is 11 hours and 20 minutes. And Enoch said that is 8 parts. Now, on that day, you will not see exactly like that. And that is because the earth has shifted and it's no longer aligned with the heavens as the Most High has said in his prophetic message. So that's why you might see a slight variation on that day. Now, on the next calendar, we will have the picture where you can see when the sun entered the 7th sign of Mazzaroth, okay? So I know when you look at this whole calendar, you'll probably say something's different, because usually in each month of the moon, you will have a sign of the sun entering Mazzaroth. So when you compare the calendar, when you compare the 5th month and the 6th month, you would notice that there's no sign when the sun entered Mazzaroth for Israel. Okay, so that month has nothing. But when you look at the 6th month, it falls on the first day of the moon. Okay, that's what I was talking about early in the video. That is another sign. Now the sun and the stars, which is the 12 stars constellation, known as Mazzaroth, is crying out too now for Israel, because the true people are not there. See, the Jewish people are the sons of Esau and the sons of Japheth. And when you listen to Yahuwah's prophetic message, you'll get more understanding and the confirmation about them and why they are there. Okay. Let's see what else. There was something else I need to mention you. I did have to make a correction on the calendar dealing with understanding the hours of daylight and the hours of night. So for those who've been following me or keeping a record, comparing notes, go back and check your notes and make those updates as well. Because I know I had to make a correction for the fifth month for the sun. So please go back and look at that. Now for the scripture. Before we go there, I do want to show you this. On my YouTube channel is part 1. It's a very short video. The reason why I'm just saying watch that video, well, not really watch it if you don't want to, but please look at the video description box for other important links so you can review. But we did a video, even though we know you couldn't see what we saw on that day, but we did a video to prove to you that we did go out and look at the heavens to sight the new moon, which fell on August the 22nd on Tuesday at sundown. And this video was done in California. Okay. Now for the scriptures. And this is the King James 1611 Holy Bible. Okay. And we shall go to Nehemiah. Make sure this is my 1611. No, this don't look like my 1611. Let me go down and check and select 1611. Okay, Nehemiah. And let's go to chapter 6. And I like to go to the screen that has the picture of the 1611. Okay, and let's go to Nehemiah chapter 6 verse 15. So in the 6th month this event occurred, and it reads as this: so the wall was finished in the 20th and 5th day of the month of Elul in 52 days. So when you have a chance, my brothers, take this time out to read the book of Nehemiah, especially chapter 6 or the whole chapter. Okay. Then again, go back to Google Documents link, click on that to have access to the other scriptures that I mentioned earlier in this video. So that was a very interesting fact to know that my people finished the wall of the city of Jerusalem in the 6th month on the 25th day. And you would learn that this was done in the period when they came out of the Babylonian captivity. And let's see here, it was Zerubbabel who was the governor of my people, and it was Joshua who was the high priest, who is the son of Josazadek. Forgive me if I mispronounced that. Let's see what else I need to cover. So this basically covers everything, my brothers and sisters. I do want to apologize. I know I haven't been making a lot of videos lately because I'm still out of town visiting brothers and sisters, also doing ministry work, meeting other Israelites, even getting familiar with my people who are in Africa. Yes. So this is why you haven't heard much from me, but whenever the Most High give me time, I definitely will, whenever the Most High give me time while I'm visiting my brothers and sisters, I definitely try to find a way to give the word to you so you know what's going on, and especially with the new moon support. So this complete this video dealing with Israel did not see the sixth new moon, part 2, another sign of the times, and another sign of the times of when the sun entered the sixth sign of Mazzaroth in Israel, and which caused that sun month to have 32 days instead of 31. Yes. So that's another sign right there. So let's close out in prayer. And if it's anything that I said in this video where you're not understanding, you can always ask me questions. You can email me. My email address is listed on the YouTube channel as well. But if you don't understand anything that I'm saying, seek Yahuwah. Ask him, and he shall give you understanding of his knowledge. Okay? And he shall give you his wisdom. It's a big difference. So read Luke 11, chapter 9, verse 13. And again, to seek our Father in all things, not man, but seek him in the name of Yahuwshua HaMashiyach. For his son is the Messiah. And we are taught by the Messiah's spirit, which is written in 1 John chapter 2, verse 27, John chapter 14 to John chapter 15. Now let's close out in prayer. In the name of Yahuwshua HaMashiyach, Father, I thank you for allowing us to see the sixth new moon. I thank you for that great sign, for it shows us that the true Hebrew Israelite has not returned home, and that you will bring us home by your hand and mighty stretched out arm. I pray that if my brothers and sisters not understand this video, that they seek you for your understanding. And also we pray for Brother Alayasha and his family. Protect them from all danger, harm, and evil. Comfort them, send people to minister unto them. But most importantly, let them be able to minister to those who are in prison. If it's anything else, Father, we have not asked in this prayer, we ask that you fulfill it. In the name of Yahuwshua HaMashiyach, so be it. Well, my brothers and sisters, this concludes the video. Remember, we are in the 7th day of Adam, for this is the season for the Messiah to return. Continue to preach the gospel, that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Make sure the people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10, and baptize them in the name of Yahuwshua HaMashiyach, because the Messiah set the example and the apostles continue it. Please read the whole book of Acts, for the water baptism never stopped and it never ceased, which is also confirmed in Mark chapter 16. I love you all, and Shalom.